Hello, our beautiful souls. You got Joanne and Elizabeth here at World's Cup of Joe. Awaken your soul. Welcome to our channel, my love. If you found our channel and you're new here, this is your new home, my dear, for balanced, neutralized union energy for your twin flame journey. This is the place where me and Elizabeth share love and balance energy to help you balance your connection. Balancing, my love, is a really hard thing to find in this journey. I don't know a lot of channels that really dedicate how to show you how to balance your twin flame. There's so many that can share twin flames and how to get your twin flame back. But once they come back in, now freaking what? What do I do? Because then I can push again. And we show you how to balance into this place of permanent relating experience where they don't pull and they are permanently in your space. And you can handle anything from first text, first date, intimacy, all the way to permanent relating experience. So welcome all of you beautiful souls. We only have a day left in our sale. So if you guys are needing to balance, take a look at our ultimate balancing twin flame program. If you're not in communication, our 30-day twin flame detox program is powerful. It's life-changing. This will shift the dynamic in your connection because you will truly be in the place of being magnetic to your soul. We guide you on what it took me and Elizabeth to bring our twin flames back, and we help so many beautiful souls do the same in their journey by helping them get to this place of soul. And a lot of people reach out to us just days in their program. It's like clockwork, my love, but it's not magic. It is not magic. It's energy, and it's your energy. We're experts in guiding beautiful souls in balancing their energy so that they can be in this place of union energy. So take a look at our sale. There's only a day left. Use that code. Once we hit midnight, the code is gone, my love. And so the store code will not work anymore. So try to use it before it's too late. Now, for today's topic, I really want to help guide all of you and how to reach this union energy. Union energy is magnetic. And we guide and teach as many clients as we can in being in this place. It's so crazy the way it plays out in twin flame connections, because it doesn't even matter what's happening with your twin flame. And the cool part is we're not even working with anything to do with your twin flame. We're working with you and helping guide you into your connection by being in this place of union.
Joanne, you and I get deep daily. We get deep within ourselves. We get deep with each other. And we are so blessed to have each other, because when we do get deep, we know that we can go and share it with each other, whereas everybody else around us is asleep. They don't understand. They don't resonate with it the same way. And everything that is like heart opening and like allows us to reach unity consciousness, we get to share with one another, and then we get to bring it to all of you beautiful souls, because we know that this is the energy that magnetizes your person. So this morning I was driving. I had to go get an oil change really early, and I'm driving, and it's springtime here in Ohio, and the trees are starting to get all their leaves back. There's so much greenery, and it is absolutely breathtaking to look around and just be surrounded by these giant trees that are gorgeous. And for those of you who have been listening for a while, you know that when I'm driving and I'm feeling into the nature around me, that's the easiest place for me to tap into unity consciousness. And when I say unity consciousness, what does that feel like for those of you that haven't experienced it? It's a place of pure peace, a pure neutrality. And the best I can relate it to someone who hasn't experienced it is all the fears get transmuted. So what would have made me fear and be in duality over this is good, this is bad, suddenly it gets released, and it just is. it just feels so peaceful. It feels so beautiful. It feels so like being alive for the first time, like truly alive. So I'm sitting there driving along, and I like to tap into unity consciousness, to look at all the trees around me, and to be in the eyes of God, to look through the lens of God, through my eyes. And I like to tell myself, I created all this. I created all this. I like to feel into the energy of creation. And so then I was thinking about, what's the difference between trees and us as humans? And I was thinking, the only difference between trees, because we all share God's source energy, right? We are all connected through the same energy of creation. So the trees have energy, we have energy, the bugs on the ground have energy, everything has energy, thoughts have energy, everything is unified through energy. We are all connected. And so I was saying, what's the difference between myself and these trees right there? And I realized the only thing that's different is consciousness. We are higher levels of consciousness because we can see duality. The trees don't see duality. The trees are just there. They're just existing. They still have energy that flows through them. And I was thinking about that, how plants can feel our energy low or high when we talk to the plants, right? There's been studies done where plants actually can feel our energy, and they sort of move and grow based on like people talking to them. And it's so beautiful, right? It's just a reflection of that connectedness. And so I was thinking, what's the difference between me and the tree? Well, the difference is I have a higher level of consciousness. So, and because of that higher level of consciousness, I see duality. I see and feel fears of the mind. We have this mind that is experiencing both love and fear in all forms, because we are allowing God to see and experience the human side, the life, through knowing what he is not and knowing himself more through us, through his creation. And I almost, Joanne, you and I were talking about it, was like, we almost are jealous of the tree, because the tree gets to just exist in this beautiful, purest form of non-duality, where we have to experience these goods and the bad because we have mind, and we are allowing God to experience himself through us. Whereas the tree is actually closer to that natural state of godness, right? Of God, of source, of pure source, because it's just existing. It's just watching. It's just being. It doesn't need anything. It doesn't want anything. It just is. And man, what if we could just be like the tree a little bit more often? What if something comes into our experience, right? Something happens in our day, and instead of reacting through the human part of us that is the mind, that is fear-based, what if we can just react through the consciousness of a tree? It just is. There's no good or bad with this. It just is. I'm just going to watch it. I'm just going to let it pass. I'm just going to be with it. And man, it's a good place to be in. Joanne, what are your thoughts, love?
So I was telling Elizabeth, trees are pure peace. They're being, their abundance, their love. They just are pure soul. I was like, if the trees have no fear-based energy and they're simply being, they're God, right? They literally are embodying God. And I'm like, I'm reaching soul every moment I'm passing a tree now, loves, because that's soul. So we mentioned this and talked about it before, but if you've watched Ted Lasso, there is a reference in there about being like the goldfish. And so we have a beta fish that my son got during Christmas. It was a white elephant gift, crazy enough. And we love him like so much. And every time I feed him, I'm looking at him and I'm like, he is pure soul, because that's what a goldfish is, right? Or a fish does, right? It's it doesn't record wrongs or goods, right? No good or bad. It just is existing and being in the experience it's in. And I look at my fish and I look at the trees and I look at consciousness, and I am very envious because it's pure God. Like, it's just energy of consciousness, right? Presence, being, watching, observing. And there's no expectations, there's no preferences, there's no judgment. It's just love. And it doesn't need you to love it for it to be love. It's already freaking love. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, well, do we want to be just consciousness? Or are we thankful and do we have gratitude that we can see duality? Because that's what God intended. God intended for you to know his love. And how do you really know his love? Well, the way to know his love is to experience the opposite of that, which is fear. And so how do we become in a place of non-duality in every experience, even though we have the opposite of love, which is fear, in every experience? And so what me and Elizabeth were talking about when it comes into this journey is really getting to a place where you're at non-duality. Well, what does non-duality look like? It's hard. It's hard to be at non-duality, especially in this journey, because with your twin flame, the mind has so many expectations and preferences and judgments and wants everything to be a certain way. And we talked about this in another video. Until you get to a place where you're neutral with your twin flame, is at the place that you can have them. But if you have a preference, if you have an expectation, if you have a judgment towards them being in your space, then you can't have them in your space. It's just like Elizabeth saying, I'm looking at my phone. If I didn't get a text from my twin flame and the mind had a preference, those are usually the moments where I won't get a text. But the moment where I don't expect it, I don't need nothing, I'm pure being, non-duality, boom, I get a text. And this is where you also manifest everything else that you no longer have preferences and expectations on. You become non-duality.
My person anymore. You guys all know when I'm in soul, my person sends me goat videos and Twitter messages. And at one point I went into mind about it. It was like judging how he was coming in. It was judging how he messaged me because the mind wanted all this romantic stuff and I'm just getting goat pictures or I'm just getting political stuff. And now it's like every time he sends me something, it is so neutral when I get it. It's just, of course. And so the more and more you balance your person, you start seeing the neutrality of your responses or of your of what's going on. But that doesn't necessarily happen with everybody else. So right now, I got a message from a friend who sent me a political video that was completely opposite, and they know that, of how I feel politically. It was the complete thing that was going to trigger the mind. And Joanne, you helped me balance really quick because it's like, okay, how do I balance this? I'm judging what's being sent to me. And instead it was just like, okay, this person wanted to share what was important to them. And so instead of looking through the lens of good or bad or anger or any kind of other emotional responses that was coming up based on this text message, instead I merely just said, thank you. Thank you. There's no good or bad. It just is. It was just a political message. The mind judges everything. And this obviously can be translated to your person, right? The mind judges everything, all of the stories that has been created in the mind about your person, and it sees it through the lens of judgment. When you can release that judgment, my loves, you're now in non-duality. You're now in soul. You're now in that space where you're going to be magnetic to them. You're going to most likely get some kind of manifestation from them, a sign in synchronicity. They might reach out. When you can release the judgment of them, the duality of them, the need of them, you are aligned to your highest self.
This video is really powerful, loves. Like, seriously, this is a union video. And to the mind, it wants the romantic with the physical person. And what we're saying to you is When you're reaching this oneness with all is when you have the physical person in your space, in that non-duality space. But it's really boring for the mind. The mind wants the I love you text. The mind wants the cheesy messages to validate the mind, when soul is the tree. How can we be more like the tree with our twin flame? How can we be more like source, right? How can we be more grounded and at peace with the now? How can we be just in the now? And you know what? I wouldn't, even though I love the trees and I'm really conscious of the appreciation of God energy, I'm so happy and grateful that I can watch the mind and see the duality, because I get to really, really, really appreciate God. That's what God wanted, right? He couldn't express love because he didn't know how to express it with an opposite of what love is. He couldn't really appreciate it. And that's what we've had in our awakening. Because we experience dark night through our awakening, we can be conscious of mind. How many people in the world can ever say that? And so even though we have fear, because I am envious of the tree, I'm also in gratitude because I'm conscious that I can appreciate the tree. I can appreciate the unconditional love, because the tree is your twin flame, my love. It's very, very deep. This is a deep, deep, deep video. If you can appreciate and be with your twin flame the way you are, and appreciating and being with a tree where you are still, you're being and you're at one, you're tapping into the part of you that is you. You're tapping into the part of you that is God. Your twin flame is not the body or mind. You're not your body and mind. You're tapping into soul.
Joanne, let's say that in another way too.
Yeah.
When you can be with your twin flame as if you're being with the tree, what does that mean? When you're looking at a tree, you don't care if it sways one direction or if it sways the other. You're watching it, you're observing it, you're just being alongside it. You're not experiencing any kind of need from the tree. You're not going outside and saying, oh my gosh, I need you to do this for me, tree. I need you to make me whole. I need you to make me feel better. I need you to go and be committed with me. You know what I mean? You're not having these needs. You're just being. You're just observing. You're just watching. So if you can be that same way with your twin flame, which is really challenging for the mind at first, right? You're reprogramming yourself to be able to balance out the needs, the desires, those low level energies. And you're learning how to be alongside your person without any need. You're just there with them. You're just being with them. And we just actually talked to a beautiful soul the other day, was like, I noticed that the more and more I'm with my person and I'm balanced, I find there's less and less to talk about. And we were like, yes, exactly. Why is that? Because the mind is coming up with conversations. The mind is wanting to talk and ask questions. And when you're aligned with soul, you're just being. There's no need for words, just like you don't need to talk to a tree. You could just be in its presence. You can just intermingle your energies in this beautiful space of peace.
And that's what it feels like when you're with your twin flame. We have a union video, and I'll add that link below. That's what it feels like, love. It's just peace, pure being in the oneness of all. That's your twin flame, my love. That is unity consciousness. And in this space is pure love and appreciation of the journey. I'm so happy and grateful I woke up to experience love. I'm so happy and grateful that I can be conscious with my soul. How can we be conscious with our soul, right? Because that's a lot of work. That's the true work of this journey, is how can I be conscious with this one person that ignites my addictive energy? How can I be conscious with this one person that makes my lower scales of energy activated, right? From desire, jealousy, anger, all of those all of those energies in lower scale, they activate like times a million when we're surrounded with our person. But when you can get to a place of neutrality, you can keep raising your energy with this one person through you. It's a beautiful dance of energy with union in your soul. You're reuniting with your soul. You're reuniting with that non-dual space of being God again, where God was just love. That's what you're reuniting. You are reuniting with when you're being one with your twin flame. That's what it feels like when you're together. That's why with our union video, it's peace, my love. This is the place of peace. And this is a space that we direct you to each and every time you pop one of our videos. You're always going to reach soul. Why do we hear so many beautiful souls say, hey, I was watching your video and my twin flame texted me. I was doing your detox, and in day 2, my twin flame reached out to me. I just finished your detox and I ran into my person. Why are those things happening? Well, it's because we're getting you in the direction of your soul, your twin flame. That's what you're reuniting with each and every time you guide yourself back home to who you are, my love. This is a reunion with you, my beautiful soul. That's why we all woke up. We woke up so we can come back home to our soul. We love you guys so much. Catch our sale. Today's the last day. We hope this has helped. We hope that this resonates. And we hope that all of you that has found this channel can really feel back at home into reuniting to your soul, to your journey. We love you guys so much. We hope you have an amazing, amazing day. Bye, love.
Bye, love.